Hey everyone, I'm Tara. Welcome back to my channel. This month I'm sharing some past videos from my Patreon as a way to help support you this holiday season. So I'm choosing topics that will hopefully feel supportive this time of year or just in general. Today the video is a yoga practice to help you slow down and be present. Each month on Patreon, I do release a 50 to 60-minute long yoga practice like this one. And you also get a Dharma talk where we discuss the topic of the month in more detail and a 15-minute meditation practice to go along with this theme. So over there is a talk on this topic and a meditation practice on this topic if you want to explore this theme of slowing down and being present in more detail. There's also many other topics and yoga practices over there for you to explore, so I will put a link to that in the description down below. With all that said, I will now hand this over to past me to get into our yoga practice. Hey everyone, and welcome to this month's yoga practice. This month we've been focusing on slowing down and bringing ourselves into the present moment. So for our yoga practice today, we're going to start with first a little bit of somatic work to really just drop in, connect with the physical body. And then for our movement part of the practice, we'll be connecting with our root chakra. And then we'll be ending with some more slower movements to really help us to tap into slowing down, being present, being connected in the here now moment. So that's going to be our flow for today. We will get started by laying on our backs. As always, please modify as needed. If you have any conditions or injuries that limit how you should move, please modify as you need. You could always hold off on a pose if it's not right for you. Sitting in easy pose with the spine nice and straight, and then joining back in when you're ready. Okay, so laying on your back, go ahead and bring your feet nice and wide, and then let the knees drop in toward one another. You can place your hands wherever you'd like. If you'd like to place them on the belly, the pelvis, you can. You can relax them on the ground as well. Close your eyes for a moment and really just allow your awareness to start to turn within. Dropping in, allowing yourself to really draw yourself into the present moment for practice. Relaxing through the low back, the sacrum, finding connection with the breath. And just allowing yourself to be here now with no rush. Feeling yourself slowing down. 3 breaths here. And then after you complete your 3 rounds of breath, blink your eyes open. Allow the knees to come apart and just bring the feet in a little bit so they're hip width apart instead of so wide. If the hands are at your sides, place them on your pelvis. And we're going to start with some movement through the pelvis, some pelvic rocks to drop in, connect with the physical body with these more subtle movements. So to start, you're going to allow your pelvis to tilt posteriorly. So what that means is you're going to flatten your back into the mat. Okay, so there's no space now between my low back and the ground. And then you're going to go anteriorly, which means you're going to tilt it forward. So you're going to create that arch in the low back as the pelvis tilts forward. Okay, and you're trying to place your hands on this bony part of the pelvis here. So go ahead and tilt back, and you'll feel that the pelvis kind of moves away from your hands as you flatten your back into the mat. And then as you tilt forward, you'll feel the pelvis kind of pops into your hands as you create that arch. So go ahead at your own pace, taking a few rounds here, keeping the breath nice and steady, and you can move at whatever pace you would like, but really drop that awareness into this movement. Noticing how this movement feels. Connecting with this part of your body. And as we really draw our awareness to the physical body here, it creates that space for our mind to start to quiet down. Take one more round this way. And then after you complete that, allow your spine to come to neutral. So that means you're not overly arching the spine. You have this slight little space between your low back and the ground. Okay, and we're gonna do some side tilts with the pelvis. Okay, so keep your hands on the pelvis. So your hands are on the bony part of the pelvis. So you're placing your hands, if you were in your hip creases, okay, or you place your pinkies in your hip creases and then allow the hands to rest down, you'll be on the part of the pelvis I'm talking about. So you're gonna allow the pelvis to shift out to the left. So it's like you're pushing the left side of the pelvis to the left, the right side follows it. Come through center and then push the pelvis to the right. And this can be, or is, a super small movement. So it's not a lot of movement. It's very gentle, but it's a nice way to really just connect to the subtleties of the body. Okay, so my upper body is not moving. I'm really isolating this movement to my pelvis. Drop the awareness in, take a few more rounds. Enjoying the subtle, slower movements. That help us to really turn within. Take one more each side. And then coming back to the center, pausing, okay? So this pelvis is straight. Again, you have that slight space between your low back and the ground. And let's take a bridge somatically. So this will be our last more somatic movement, and then we're gonna transition to drop into the root chakra, okay? So release the hands down at your sides, palms facing down. Tilt the pelvis down like we did first, where you press the low back into the ground, okay? And then slowly lift up one vertebrae at a time. Make this super slow. Feel the subtle movement of the body when you move in this slower, more controlled way. Slowly lifting up, one vertebrae at a time. And then once you get to the top end of your range, you'll slowly lower back down. So lowering back down from the upper back, slowly making your way down. The low back will come in contact with the earth last, and then you let the pelvis relax, getting that neutral spine, that slight space between the low back and the ground. Let's actually take one more somatic one. I'm gonna let you do it on your own, just dropping the awareness in. Go ahead, one more bridge, nice and slow. And once you're down, creating that little space between the low back and the ground. And then we'll lift up one more time into your bridge. This time you can lift more how you would normally lift, so a little quicker. So just pressing into the heels. So what I want you to do, because now we're moving to the root chakra. So really focus on the connection of the heels to the ground. Press down firmly into the heels. Lift the hips, push the hips up to the sky. And breathe, holding your bridge. Okay. Feeling the weight heavy through the heels, feeling that strong connection to the earth. And then maybe, if you would like, you can start to lift the heels off the ground. Okay, so a little heel raise, totally optional. Take 2 more breaths in whatever variation you're in. If the heels are lifted, plant them down, connect back in, and then lower yourself down to the ground. Okay, and then go ahead and roll to one side, press yourself up, meet me on all fours. Okay, so from all fours, we're gonna move right into a downward facing dog. So step the hands about a palm print forward, tuck the toes, press yourself back into your downward dog. A nice deep bend in the knees in downward dog. Pressing through index finger and thumbs. Hips are up to the sky. Grounding through hands and feet. Feeling the stability of this pose. Breathing in and out through the nose. Connecting here with the earth to activate through the root chakra. 2 breaths. And then from here, start to lift the heels up. Keep the arms where they are. So the heels lift, your hips will lift a little higher, rolling up onto the ball of your feet, the toes, and then rocking the heels back down. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, press the heels down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down, finding that movement through the feet. One more, inhale, lift. Exhale, heels down. One more breath in downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And then start to slowly, right? No rush in this practice. Slowly walk the feet up to the hands, taking one step at a time. And once the feet are there, roll yourself up again slowly, moving one vertebrae at a time, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other as you roll yourself up to standing. Okay, at the top of your mat, Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet can be together or hip width apart. Actually, let's all do hip width apart for some extra stability. So feet hip width apart, slight bend in the knees, hands down at your sides, palms facing forward. Allow the shoulders to drop down away from the ears. Breathe and maybe close your eyes. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Feel the stability here. Embrace the stillness of a mountain. Feel that through your body. 3 breaths. And then blink the eyes open. Keep the feet where they are. We're going to do chair pose, but with the feet hip width apart. So start to slowly shift the hips back like you were sitting in a chair, bending the knees, hands in prayer, chair pose. Breathe, and then reach the arms up. Feel your weight in the heels. Feel the weight heavy here. Feel the stability in this pose. 3 breaths. One more breath. Sink down a little deeper and then press through the heels. Come up to standing, hands in prayer. Okay, a little bit of a standing series, which is really good for activating the root chakra, which can really help us to slow down, right? Because it is a little bit of a slower energy. Draw your feet together. Ground into the right foot, hands in prayer. We're going to be stepping back into crescent lunge, okay? So slow and controlled. So you're going to start to reach the left leg back as you slowly reach it back, landing on the back toes, moving into crescent lunge. If you need to make any adjustments to correct your form, feel free. Okay, square the hips forward. Breathe. Keep that back knee squeezing straight. Reach the arms up. And then let the shoulders drop down away from the ears so the shoulder blades move down your back. 3 breaths. Hands plant down, bordering the right foot. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toes, lift up, low lunge. 3 breaths here. And try to keep this a more stable low lunge instead of just sinking down. Keep the torso stacked over the pelvis, drop the tailbone down. The legs are super active here. Thinking about even the inner thighs squeezing together, lifting the torso up higher. 1 more breath. Hands plant down, bordering right foot. Tuck under back toes, lift the back knee, step the back foot up to the top of the mat. On an inhale breath, come up through flat back, press the hands into the shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms reach up. Exhale, draw the hands into prayer at the heart. Breathe. Moving to the other side, grounding into the left foot. So the left foot is really grounding down, super stable. And we're going to take that slow step back into crescent lunge, okay? So the hands are in prayer. You lift the right leg. You start to reach it back nice and slow. It's kind of like a little mini warrior 3 here before you let it land. So you're landing and you're on the back toes. And breathe. And if you feel like you didn't step back enough, you need to adjust so you're in good form so that your front knee is over your ankle. Go ahead and make any adjustments. And then once you're in your crescent, arms come up, shoulders draw down. 3 breaths. Hands float down, bordering left foot. Back knee drops, back toe untucks. Lift low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Again, finding a really stable low lunge here instead of a hip opener. You're still getting hip opening, but again, pressing down through the left heel, okay? Torso stacked over pelvis, inner thighs squeeze together, lift you a little higher. You get that core activation. Take 1 more breath here. And then the hands plant down, bordering left foot. Tuck under the back toes, lift the back knee. Step back foot up to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Hands up. Exhale, pull the hands to the heart. Anjali Mudra. Breathe. Okay, 1 more standing sequence. We will be holding the poses a little longer it'll make the legs burn a little bit, but it's really good for finding that stability, connecting through the part of our body that's connected to the root chakra. Okay, so our lower body, our legs. If it feels like it's too much, you can always just give a little straighten through the knee, take a moment, come back in when you're ready. This will be the harder working part of the practice. Then we're going to do a little balance pose, and then we'll get back down to our more slow flow stretches. All right, so from here, we'll transition right from standing today. So the right foot will stay forward. You'll take a big step back with the left foot landing in warrior two. Okay, so you want the front heel aligned with the back arch, sinking down into the right knee. Hips are open to the side of the mat. Okay, tailbone drops down, arms reach up, and breathe. And like I said, you can make this as hard as you want. So if this is like gets to be too much for the legs, just give a little straighten through the right knee, or come out of the pose for a moment, take a break. This is your practice. But trying to really be the one in control of the body, maybe pushing your edge a little bit in a way that feels good. Breathe. Okay, and if it feels like also it's not enough, you could deepen the bend in the right knee. 2 more breaths. Okay, keep the legs where they are. Left hand down the left leg or goes to the left hip. Reverse warrior, right arm up, side bending to the left. Keeping this active though, right? So we're not collapsing. We're lifting and then we bend, and we keep that bend in the right leg to really make the right side of our root chakra work. Breathe. One more breath. Coming back through warrior two, you're going to bring the right elbow to the right thigh, left arm overhead, side angle. Press down through the right forearm, drawing that right shoulder away from your ears. Left fingertips extend. And again, trying to keep that bend in the right knee. Mind over body. One more breath. You're almost there on this side. Come back, warrior two. 2 more breaths. Good. And then windmill the hands down, pivot on the back toes, step back, down dog. Breathe and make any adjustments you need, shaking out through the legs. Walk yourself back up to the top of the mat and roll back up to stand. Okay. Left side, you got this. Keep the left foot forward and take that big step back with the right, landing in warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2 on the left. Set yourself up, heel to heel arch alignment, so the left heel's in line with the right arch if you made a line going straight back. Okay, tailbone drops down, hips open to the side, arms float up. Breathe. Maybe sinking a little deeper into the left knee. But keep that left knee in line with the left ankle. Finding your edge in your practice. Three more breaths. Okay, keep the legs where they are. Right hand to the hip or down the back leg. Left arm reaches, so extend first and then start to side bend to the right. Breathe. Again, really keeping this active so the core is engaged, maybe deepening that bend in the left knee if it started to straighten a little bit. 2 more breaths. floating back, warrior two. And then moving into side angle, left elbow to left thigh, right arm up. Press down into the left arm, breathe. Again, checking in through the left thigh, left knee. If it's starting to straighten, maybe it's trying to keep that bend. You are almost there. 2 breaths here. Float back, warrior two, 2 breaths. Windmill down, pivoting the back toes. Step back, down dog. Any movements you need, shaking the knees out. Hips can shift side to side. Pause in stillness. Take an inhale through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. And then allow the breath to come back to a comfortable pace, moving in and out through the nose. Walk the feet up toward your hands. And roll yourself up to standing. Good. Okay. Let's take a little stretch through the hamstrings, then we'll do our balance pose, but let's stretch out the legs for a moment. They did just work hard. So step wide, facing the side of the mat so the toes are pointing, facing the side of your mat. Get nice and tall through the spine, reach the arms up, extend through the fingertips, and then fold into your standing wide leg forward fold, hands plant on the ground, or if the hamstrings are tight, you could use blocks under your hands to bring the hands higher. If the hamstrings are tight, you could also let the knees bend a little bit, but if you have the mobility, you could let the knees straighten. Relaxing down, breathe. And you could stay here or option to take a little toe lock here where you'll interlace your index and middle finger around the big toe, and then the thumb the thumb will be on your toenail. And you can do that on each side. So right hand to right foot, left hand to left foot, and just, it's a different arm variation, totally optional. Whatever variation you are in, take 3 more breaths. And then everyone come up to flat back, fingertips to the earth. Allow the knees to slightly bend if they're straight. Keep the back flat, bring your hands to your hips, and then try to stand up with a flat back. So really using the glutes to lift you back up. And then you could heel toe the feet closer together, and we'll take our balance. Sorry, I think I hit my microphone. And we'll take our balance pose, which is going to be tree pose, as our last really root chakra focused pose to help us connect with this energy center, right, to help us slow down. Okay, so tree pose, ground into right foot, slight bend in the right knee. Bring the left foot, either it could stop and you can keep the toes on the ground and you can have the heel to the ankle. Okay, left heel to right ankle. You could place the foot on your calf, the inner part of your calf, or you can use your hand to pull that foot in and press it into the inner thigh. You just don't want your foot on your knee, okay? Hands in prayer, breathe, finding a point to focus on, okay? And for our tree pose today, we're gonna take a winter inspired tree. So instead of our branches going up, we're gonna allow our arms, our branches, to float down at our sides, feeling into this more grounding sensation. And maybe you could even sway the torso side to side, like a winter tree in the breeze. I feel like the winter is a little windier, right? And this might throw your balance off, but just play with it, tapping into a little bit of a playful nature here. And then come back to stillness again. Arms float down, shoulders down away from the ears. And then slowly come out of the pose, bringing left foot to the ground and shake it out. Bending one knee, straightening. And then tree pose on the other side. Ground into left foot, slight bend in the left knee. Take your variation. Maybe the heel goes to the ankle. Maybe the foot goes to the calf, the inner part of your calf. Or you pull it in toward the inner thigh. Again, just not on the knee joint. Okay. Hands in prayer. Find a point to focus on. Find the stability here. Grounding into that left foot. Left foot is super stable. Breathe. And then the arms drop down into our little winter tree. And then maybe you start swaying a little with the body, challenging the balance, being a winter tree in the breeze. And then come back to stillness again, arms down at your sides. One more breath. And then allow the foot to come back down to the ground and shake the knees out. Step back up to the top of the mat. Reach the arms up tall. Fold forward. Step back, down dog. And then drop the knees down so you're on all fours. Okay. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, taking a little calf stretch here. So you're going to reach the right leg back so the right toes are tucked under. And then you're going to press the right heel toward the back of the mat. So the right knee straight, and you can even use the arms to give you a little pressure as you press back, getting that stretch in the calf, in the foot, and breathe. Two more breaths. Starting to slow it down. Okay, bring the right knee in. Switching sides. Left foot back so the left toes are tucked under. Your core is still active here. Okay, so you're not letting the spine collapse. Press the left heel toward the back of the mat, using the hands to give you that little extra pressure. Left knee straight and breathe. And also trying to keep the head in neutral, not letting the head kind of hang down. Keeping the neck in neutral. A few more breaths. Last breath here. And then bring the left knee in. Bring the knees together. Sit the hips back toward the heels. And we're moving into child's pose, balasana. You can take regular child's pose if you'd like, reaching the arms out in front. You could also take wide leg with the knees wide and the feet together. Or if you want a more relaxing child pose where we really just start to let go, then I'm going to offer you to keep the knees and feet together, arms reach back, and the head will drop down to the ground. Okay, so you really let the shoulders drop down, let go. Head is relaxed on the ground, starting to just let any tension melt away. And we'll take 5 breaths here. And slowly moving out of child's pose, pressing back to kneeling. Taking a breath here. Okay, and remembering that the whole practice we've been working on slowing down, being present, but really as we're coming to the last part of this practice, move slowly, no rush, take your time. Okay, so we're going to move to sitting in a wide leg pose for a wide leg forward fold and sitting. Okay, so shifting to sitting and slowly making your way there. Okay, bringing the legs out into that wide leg position. Okay, right, gradually moving and find your variation. So if you have super tight hamstrings, it might not be possible to get the knees straight here. So you might want to just do a little bend in the knees and sit up. If you do have this bend, it might be nice to put blocks under the knees for support. That way you could keep the spine nice and straight, okay? So find your wide leg position, again, taking your time. Okay, so once you're comfortable, we're just gonna take a little bit of a sway side to side. And sometimes these slow, fluid movements can also just help us start to slow down. So you're really just letting the torso sway to the right, sway to the left, just going with the movement. A few more times. Coming back to center, and we'll take a side bend stretch here, planting the right elbow down in front of the right leg. You're going to open the ribs up, so lifting that left rib cage up, left arm reaches up and maybe overhead. So find what feels good. Maybe it just feels good to have the arm up and open, maybe reaching feels good. Breathe. If you do want a deeper variation, again, totally optional, you could reach the right arm toward the left thigh and getting that shoulder into the right, reaching, and maybe last variation would be hooking the left hand to the right foot. Okay, there's so many variations in yoga, and what's important is to take the variation that works for you. Not letting the ego get in the way. 3 breaths. Coming up out of the posture and switching sides. So everyone first taking the left elbow to the floor on the inside part of the left leg. Pulling the right ribs up, reach the right arm. Okay? The next option is to let that right arm float up further, getting a deeper stretch on the right side body. Keep the breath steady. Maybe if you want to reach, putting the left shoulder in front, left hand to right inner thigh. Right arm over. Maybe hooking the right hand to the left foot, and breathe. Find your variation, find what edge feels good for you. Keep opening the right ribs up to the sky, 3 breaths. And then slowly making your way up, coming back to the center. Again, right, we're moving slowly. Take a moment in the center to kind of reset yourself here. And then maybe you want to stay sitting up nice and tall, or maybe now you'd like to take a forward fold. If you're folding forward, find length in the spine as you fold. And breathe, breathing into the inner thighs. 5 breaths. Maybe taking a moment to drop in a little deeper. And then if you're forward, walking yourself back up. And then everyone, we're going to bring the legs in, and you can use the hands to slowly guide the legs out. So move nice and slow because we were sitting there for some time. Okay, and you're going to bend the knees. So you're sitting with the knees bent, feet on the floor, hands on the shins. Sit up nice and tall. Okay, and then maybe you want to stay here, and you could tuck the feet further in if you'd like. Give them a hug, and you could maybe stay sitting up tall if you prefer, or if you'd like to start to let yourself kind of roll or relax into a little ball, you'll let the spine curve or round, and then the head can drop down. And breathe. Relax through the sit bones. And really just turning within. Creating space to slow down. Three breaths. If you're curled, sit up tall. Okay. Cross the feet. Come back to all fours slowly, slowly. Okay, we're just going to take a downward dog to neutralize the spine. So slowly make your way there. Pressing back to a downward dog. Once you're there, just taking one breath. And then rocking forward, dropping to the knees, lowering down to your belly, propping up on the forearms, landing in Sphinx. 3 breaths, let the heels fall out to the sides, let go through the lower spine. And then lower down. And you're going to roll onto your left side, keeping the left arm straight to rest your head on the arm. Okay, and then you're going to let the right knee come up in front and rest down, okay? So the right leg's relaxing on the ground, left leg is straight out. Breathe. Let the body melt down. Okay. And maybe you want to stay with this relaxing variation where you just let go and connect with the side body on the earth. Or if you want to take a kind of side lying, relaxing dancer variation, you could start to bend the bottom leg. So bending the left knee, seeing if you could hook and hold the left inner ankle with the right hand. And then you're going to pull that shoulder back, so the right shoulder back, and breathe. So you can either pull the heel closer to the butt for more of a quad stretch, or you can kind of press the foot into the hand for a little more chest opening. Your choice, whatever feels good to you. 3 breaths. And then if you have the foot, let it go. And everyone start to bring that right leg back, slowly rolling to the belly and making your way onto your right side. Right arm extends out so the head can rest on the arm. Right leg is straight, left leg lands in front. So you have a bend in the left knee, kind of letting that left leg drape over. And this is a nice pose also to just kind of relax through the left hip. Really connecting right side body on the earth. And then either staying here or for the dancer kind of variation, bending the right knee, hooking and holding the right inner ankle with that left hand, and breathe. And play with this here. So maybe pressing the foot into the hand, getting a little opening through the shoulder, or pulling the foot closer to the butt. So pulling the right foot in, so the right heel's aiming toward the right glute. Getting a quad stretch. And breathe. And whatever variation you're in, really just letting yourself be heavy on the earth. So remembering that. 3 breaths. And release the foot. Bring the left leg back, and this time roll onto your back. Okay, a few more stretches to really help us slow down and also stretch out the legs, because we did, even though this was a little bit of a slower practice, we did work through the legs with those standing poses, so it's nice to stretch it out. So keeping the left foot on the ground, right ankle crosses, so the right ankle's on the left thigh. Okay, so you're in this figure 4. You are welcome to stay here, or if you would like, you can hold under the left thigh, pull the legs in deeper. But make sure if you're doing this variation where you pull the legs in, that the entire spine is on the ground. So from the head down to your lower back. Breathe. And just letting the body go. So letting go in that right hip as you open. Letting yourself melt on the earth. And allowing the breath to be at a nice, slow, calming pace. Three more breaths here. And releasing out of the posture. Planting both feet on the ground. Pausing here for a moment. And then cross left ankle on right thigh. In that figure 4, choose your option. Maybe you stay here in this variation, or maybe holding under right thigh, pulling the legs in deeper. And breathe. Keep letting go. See if you could let go through the left outer hip, through the left glute. Three more breaths. And then releasing. Both feet again plant on the earth. Feel that connection. Again, pausing for a moment, really taking a pause to feel the effects of the pose, the stretch. And then holding each inner ankle, so left hand to left inner ankle, right hand to right inner ankle, knees come out to the sides. And breathe. This is like a modified happy baby. Let go through the pelvis, letting the abdominal muscles relax, the belly soft as you breathe. And just dropping into the pose, checking in with how you feel, noticing what you're feeling without judgment, just allowing yourself to be here in the present moment. 5 breaths. And slowly bringing the feet back down. Hands at your sides. Again, take that moment of pause. And then press through the heels. Lift the hips up nice and slowly. Coming up into a bridge, and it doesn't have to be the full variation. And then dropping the pelvis, the back, the hips back down. And straightening the legs out for Shavasana. Letting the feet fall out to the sides. Palms facing up. Shoulders tuck under. Relax back down. Let go. Close the eyes. And just feeling everything start to slow down. Allowing yourself to bask in this slower pace. Reminding the body, the mind, that things don't always need to move so quickly, that there's nourishment in these slower moments. Remembering that as you slow down, you can really draw yourself into the present moment. And as you rest in Shavasana, just really letting go, letting yourself be supported by the earth, and enjoying these moments of quiet, of stillness. I'll guide you out when we're ready. Slowly start to bring movement back to the physical body, wiggling fingers and toes. And then slowly bending one knee, planting foot on the floor, bending the other, planting that foot on the floor, feeling the connection of the soles of the feet on the earth. Reach your arms overhead, extend through the fingertips, finding length. And then roll to one side, bottom arm stays out straight, rest your head on that arm, pausing on your side. And then when you're ready, planting the hands on the ground to slowly walk yourself up, moving back to sit in easy pose, cross-leg position. Hands in prayer at the center of the heart. Taking pause here, feeling the effects of Shavasana and this entire yoga practice, letting it radiate through your entire being. And then we'll close our practice here with a breath together. So take a nice deep inhale all the way down into the belly. Exhale, let it go. Return your breath back to its comfortable pace. The hands will release down and your eyes can blink back open to the world around you. Trying to remember to keep yourself present in the here and the now as you move off your mat into the rest of your day or your evening. Namaste. Thank you guys for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do feel like this kind of work is supportive for you, please check out my Patreon link that is in the description down below. That's where I release a new yoga practice like this every month, a nice long one, along with the Dharma talk and meditation practice. For the yoga practices over there, this one you practiced today was a bit on the slower side, obviously, because of the topic, but you will also find some more, I'll say, faster paced yoga on my Patreon as well if you're looking for that. So it really just depends on the topic of the month. Oh, and you can also gift a membership to Patreon. So if you want to add a membership to your wish list or share this with someone who you think would like this type of content, I'll also link that below for you. Thank you guys for supporting me here on YouTube, and I'll see you in another video. Bye, guys.